is Tuesday, April 14th, 2026, and this is Read Through the Bible.
Okay, before we begin, I just need to say a few things. Last night I was with my dad, and we watched the Cubs game. The Cubs got crushed by the Phillies, by the way, but it was okay. It was good to see a game with him. And he has some helpers come in and help him with dishes and laundry and food. And Kathy comes in, and I know that she is there today.
Right. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy. We are so encouraged by her and her feedback. She listens to this podcast every day. So we're encouraged by that. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, so we are in Job chapters 4 through 7 today.
Okay, so now we're in this section of Job where he is going to have conversations with his three friends, with Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, and it's going to go back and forth. We'll have a chapter with Job and the friend, and then Job and another friend, and Job and the third friend. So today we're going to read chapters 4 through 7, and chapters 4 and 5 are the friend Eliphaz. He states his case.
Yep.
And then chapters 6 and 7, Job responds.
Yes. And what is interesting is the whole question here in the book of Job is about evil and the question of evil and why is it that people suffer. Mm-hmm. And we're going to see that both Job and his friends have the same theology, that God blesses the righteous and curses the wicked always in every circumstance.
Always, no exceptions.
Yeah, and so his friends, we're going to see Eliphaz say that in chapter 4, verse 8, as I've seen those who plow iniquity and sow trouble reap the same, so that those who've been sinful will be cursed by God. And so they're saying that you, Job, are being disciplined, you're being cursed because you're disobedient and sinful. But Job, on the other hand, says, no, I'm not. I'm righteous. What's to blame?
And so he says, God is
why am I
to
suffering?
blame.
God is to blame. And we see that even Job is more right than his friends are, because Job is seen as a righteous man, even set up that category. I'm not sure it's not perfect, but it is. He's a righteous man in chapters 1 and 2. Evil has come to demonstrate and prove that God is right about his servants. His servants will praise him and trust him, even though suffering injustice. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with Eliphaz.
Okay, chapter 4, verse 1. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, if one ventures a word with you, will you be impatient? Yet who can keep from speaking? So Eliphaz is being kind of cautious there as he's starting out, testing the water. Verse 3, behold, you have instructed many, and you have strengthened the weak hands. Your words have upheld him who is stumbling, and you have made firm the feeble knees. So he kind of builds him up there. And then verse 5, but now it has come to you, and you are impatient. It touches you, and you are dismayed. Is not your fear of God your confidence? In the integrity of your ways your hope?
And then comes the framework that Eliphaz, Bildad, Zophar all have, and Job as well.
And Job.
He says this, remember, who that was innocent ever perished? Or where were the upright cut off? He says, as I have seen, those who plow iniquity and sow trouble will reap the same. By the breath of God they perish, and by the blast of his anger they are consumed. The roar of a lion, the voice of the fierce lion, the teeth of the young lions are broken. The strong lion perishes for lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered. And then here he's going to hear, he's got a vision, he's going to talk about. A frightening vision. Yes. He's going to share this vision about what he saw and experienced. He's going to then press it upon Job about how this vision says that, before God, none of us are righteous.
Okay, verse 12. Now, a word was brought to me stealthily. My ear received the whisper of it. Amid thoughts from visions of the night, when deep sleep falls on men, dread came upon me, and trembling which made all my bones shake. A spirit glided past my face. The hair of my flesh stood up.
That's called goosebumps, when the hair of your flesh stands up, right?
Right. It stood still, but I could not discern its appearance. A form was before my eyes. There was silence. Then I heard a voice.
So this is what the voice of the vision said, the scary vision.
Can mortal man be in the right before God? Can a man be pure before his Maker? Even in his servants he puts no trust, and his angels he charges with error. How much more those who dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, who are crushed like the moth. Between morning and evening they are beaten to pieces. They perish forever without anyone regarding it. Is not their tent cord plucked up within them? Do they not die, and that without wisdom?
So I think the key verse here is the framework, verse 7 and 8. Who was innocent that ever perished, or where was the upright cut off? As I've seen those who plow iniquity and sow trouble reap the same. So the idea is you're not right before God. You're surely sinful. That's why you're suffering these things. Okay, that's their theology. God blesses the righteous and curses the wicked. You've been cursed. Certainly you are wicked. Okay, and then he's going to continue on in chapter 5, and he's going to give them his advice. Call now. Is there anyone who will answer you? To which of the holy ones will you turn? Surely vexation kills the fool, and jealousy slays the simple. I have seen the fool taking root, but suddenly I curse his dwelling. His children are far from safety. They are crushed in the gate, and there is no one to deliver them. The hungry eat his harvest. He takes it even out of thorns, and the thirsty pant after his wealth. For affliction does not come from the dust, nor does trouble sprout from the ground, but man is born to trouble as the sparks fly upward. And then here comes his counsel and advice to Job.
Verse 8, As for me, I would seek God, and to God I would commit my cause, who does great things and unsearchable, marvelous things without number. He gives rain on the earth and sends water on the fields. He sets on high those who are lowly, and those who mourn are lifted to safety. He frustrates the devices of the crafty so that their hands achieve no success. He catches the wise in their own craftiness, and the schemes of the wily are brought to a quick end. They meet with darkness in the daytime and grope at noonday as in the night. But he saves the needy from the sword of their mouth and from the hand of the mighty. So the poor have hope, and injustice shuts her mouth.
So his advice to Job is verse 8, As for me, I would seek God. This God who does all these wonderful things, and even he saves the needy, verse 15. Okay, and then verse 17 and following basically saying, your problem is because you're being disciplined, right? You have sinned in some way, there's some problem, and you are being disciplined. Verse 17, Behold, blessed is the one whom God reproves. Therefore, despise not the discipline of the Almighty, for he wounds, but he binds up. He shatters, but his hands heal. I mean, this is very New Testament, right? Is that just that count all joy when you encounter trials, because it tests your faith, that God breaks us, but he heals us as well. And he puts us to the point where we need him. We call out to him, which is what Eliphaz is calling him to do. Like, this is New Testament counsel in many ways. Verse 19, He will deliver you from 6 troubles. In 7, no evil shall touch you. In famine, he will redeem you from death, and in war from the power of its sword. In other words, where you seek him and you do good, he's going to bless you. You shall be hidden from the lash of the tongue, and shall not fear destruction when it comes. At destruction and famine you shall laugh, and you shall not fear the beasts of the earth. For you shall be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with you. You shall know that your tent is at peace, and you shall inspect your fold and miss nothing. You shall know also that your offspring shall be many, and your descendants as the grass of the earth. Like, all these blessings will come if you but seek God and turn and repent and know this is the discipline of God. All these good things are going to come. You shall come to your grave in ripe old age, like a sheaf gathered up in its season. Behold, this we have searched out. It is true. Hear and know that it is for your good. Yes, we know that God caused all things to work together for good to those who love God or called according to his purpose. He's saying even difficult, hard things, it's for your good. That's the message of Eliphaz.
Yeah, here.
Not so bad, but the problem is that Job was inflicted unrighteously, unjustly, and we know that from chapters 1 and 2.
Right.
Okay, chapter 6. And this is Job complaining out to God, and basically he's going to say here, no, I have not denied the Holy One, and show me how. Show me how I've sinned.
Right, so 6 and 7, both those chapters are going to be Job's response.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. 6 verse 1. Then Job answered and said, Oh, that my vexation were weighed, and all my calamity laid in the balances. For then it would be heavier than the sand of the sea. Therefore my words have been rash. For the arrows of the Almighty are in me. My spirit drinks their poison. The terrors of God are arrayed against me.
So he knows that all this affliction is God's arrow coming to inflict him. Yes.
Does the wild donkey bray when he has grass, or the ox low over his fodder? Can that which is tasteless be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the juice of the mallow? My appetite refuses to touch them. They are as food that is loathsome to me.
Just life is difficult. Verse 8, oh, that I might have my request, and that God would fulfill my hope, that it would please God to crush me, that he would let loose his hand and cut me off. Again, going back to chapter 3 when he wished he died. This would be my comfort. I would even exult in pain unsparing. Here's the whole point. I have not denied the words of the Holy One. In chapters 1 and 2, really back that up. With all these things, Job did not sin with his mouth. And he is speaking very true. He's a righteous man. Verse 11, what is my strength that I should wait? And what is my end that I should be patient? Is my strength the strength of stones, or is my flesh bronze? Have I any help within me when resource is driven from me?
He who withholds kindness from a friend forsakes the fear of the Almighty. My brothers are treacherous as a torrent bed, as torrential streams that pass away.
So here he's talking about Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, is who he's talking about. He says, my brothers
are
you guys are torrent bed.
Yeah.
It's not helping me.
So as torrential streams that pass away, which are dark with ice and where the snow hides itself. When they melt, they disappear. When it is hot, they vanish from their place. The caravans turn aside from their course. They go up into the waste and perish. The caravans of Tema look. The travelers of Sheba hope. They are ashamed because they were confident. They come there and are disappointed. For you have now become nothing. You see my calamity and are afraid. Have I said, make me a gift, or from your wealth offer a bribe for me? Or deliver me from the adversary's hand, or redeem me from the hand of the ruthless?
Okay, so here's his big request to them. Verse 24, teach me and I will be silent. Make me understand how I have gone astray. Show me my sin. Verse 25, how forceful are upright words, but what does reproof from you reprove? Where's the sin? You're reproving me for sinning. Where have I sinned? Do you think that you can reprove words when the speech of a despairing man is wind? You would even cast lots over the fatherless and bargain over your friend.
But now be pleased to look at me, for I will not lie to your face. Please turn. Let no injustice be done. Turn now. My vindication is at stake. Is there any injustice on my tongue? Cannot my palate discern the cause of calamity?
Okay, key verses here. Verse 10, I've not denied the words of the Holy One. Verse 30, is there any injustice on my tongue?
And verse
24, teach me how I have sinned.
Right.
Okay, and then chapter 7, he kind of goes back to chapter 3, which speaks about how hard his life is and how difficult it is, how he's better if he was never born. Okay, chapter 7, verse 1, has not man a hard service on earth, and are not his days like the days of a hired hand? Like a slave who longs for the shadow, and like a hired hand who looks for his wages. So I'm allotted months of emptiness, and nights of misery are apportioned to me. When I lay down, I say, when shall I rise? But the night is long, and I am full of tossing till the dawn. My flesh is clothed with worms and dirt. My skin hardens, then breaks out afresh. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle, and come to their end without hope.
Remember that my life is a breath. My eye will never again see good.
Just imagine how hopeless that is.
He's pretty despondent there.
Yeah, he is.
Things are bad. It's understandable. The eye of him who sees me will behold me no more. While your eyes are on me, I shall be gone. As the cloud fades and vanishes, so he who goes down to Sheol does not come up. He returns no more to his house, nor does this place know him anymore.
Basically says, I'm going to die and I'm not going to be remembered. Life is hard. Okay, verse 11, therefore I will not restrain my mouth. I will speak in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. Am I the sea or a sea monster that you set a guard over me? When I say my bed will comfort me, my couch will ease my complaint, then you scare me with dreams and terrify me with visions. That, remember, is what Eliphaz did in chapter 4, this scary dream that caused him to have goosebumps. And basically...
And trying to pass that on to Job to like shock him and scare him into repentance.
Yeah, where this dream ends is, can mortal man be right before God? Chapter 4, verse 17. He's like scared before all those things, that vision. So, verse 15, that I would choose strangling and death rather than my bones. I loathe my life. I would not live forever. Leave me alone, for my days are a breath. And here's like this counsel he's received has been so bad to him. Just leave me alone. Get out of my face. What is man that you make so much of him, and that you set your heart on him? Visit him every morning and test him every moment. How long will you not look away from me, nor leave me alone till I swallow my spit? Now, here, like this could be talking to his friends, or it could be Job even speaking with God. If I sin, what do I do to you, you watcher of mankind? Why have you made me your mark? Why have I become a burden to you? Why do you not pardon my transgression and take away my iniquity? And here, he's even kind of confessing he's a sinner here. But he is righteous. For now I shall lie in the earth. You will seek me, but I shall not be. Okay, so the summation basically what Job is saying is like he says in verse 16 of how I loathe my life. My life is short. It's done. I've been terrified. It's difficult. I'm going to die. Yeah, leave me alone. Just get away from me. Okay, some tough sledding here in Job, but we are along to help you understand the book and the battles with the problem of evil.
So today we read 2 chapters of Eliphaz, 4 and 5, and we read 2 chapters of Job, 6 and 7.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.